Hello, guys. And let me bring Eric in here. There we go. Hi, guys. How you doing? Good afternoon. It's Kevin here, bringing another video on information technology, and I'm here with Eric today. Eric, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Kev. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Cool, man. And I don't want to go over we'll go over like what we're working on later on, but let's just go over, I guess, a little bit about you. Like, tell me about yourself. How you go to the job interview? Tell me about yourself.
All right. Well, my name's Eric Belardo, and I have been in information security for now about 32 years. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and I went to University of Massachusetts. And after that, I started in cybersecurity. Well, back then we didn't call it cybersecurity; it was data security or information security, in or information assurance. And I joined the military after that, and I traveled the world with that. I was part of the Bosnia and Kosovo activities, and I was the tech guy, the information security guy, the military intelligence guy. And when I got out of the military, I spent about 20 years in Washington, D.C., and all the different agencies working. And since then, I've been in private industry. I've been all positions from a tech all the way to a CISO. And now I manage projects across the world as a VCCO, and support manufacturing companies and other customers.
Awesome. And just tell me, like, this is like the question I love to ask everyone. So tell me, like, why did you choose IT over anything else?
So I was always a hacker. And I mean that in the word, I would always be taking things apart. Back then I had my first computer, which was an, you know, Tandy computer, Commodore 64. I started, developing and coding in BASIC, in assembly language. And then when I went to college, I did Pascal and Fortran. And I just fell in love with an IT infrastructures and technology and taking things apart. And that just led me, and that was early 80s. And that led me into the field and been doing that ever since.
Awesome. And then what's the because the thing is that I always go over this. So
Go ahead.
what's your advice for someone brand new to IT? Like, because I do help desk and IT support. I teach that, but I guess like if someone does not want to work in that field, like what's your advice for someone to get started in cybersecurity? And I know cybersecurity is huge. So there's like the blue team, the red team, the purple team. There's like all this other stuff. So what's your advice for someone brand new to IT, especially when they don't know anything about IT? How do you get started?
Well, the first thing is find out where your passion is. Okay, what is it that you want to do? There's the sexy side of the house where everybody wants to learn how to do penetration testing and hacking and stuff like that. But some people find that that's, not where they find their goal. Cybersecurity is such a big field. There's like 30 or 40 different branches of cybersecurity. You don't have to be awfully technical. If you want to be a security awareness trainer, or if you want to be a teacher, or if you want to be a governance, risk, and compliance, the risk people that are doing all the policies, procedures, you don't have to be awfully technical on that side. Then you go to the blue side, okay, which we call it the defensive side, where you're doing things like security operations, and you see all the big monitors everywhere, and they're watching the firewalls and the vulnerability management. And some people awfully love that. For me particular, I'm a blue guy. I've been a blue guy for most of my career. Yes, I've done the red, yes, I've done the purple, but find what you love, learn about it, watch, like your channel, YouTube. There's a whole load of channels in cybersecurity that are talking about the different branches of security. Find the one that you like, and then start researching. Learn, watch videos, Google it, talk to people. Network is important. Talk to other people. And you'll find your passion. Once you find that passion, that fire starts burning, and boom, you're in a field that you love for the rest of your life.
Awesome. And what's your I guess this is like a conversation I have with different people, and everyone gives me a different answer. Obviously, there's more than one way to get into IT, so people give me different answers. So I want to hear your answer or your opinion. So, what certifications should you start with in cybersecurity? Security Plus is one of them. I know that's one of them. But what do you recommend?
Okay, so there's three main ways to get into cybersecurity. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go from the beginning. So there's the traditional path where people go to college, get a cybersecurity degree and some college online or otherwise, and then come out of the field, come into the field. Okay, that's number one. That's a traditional way. Number two is somebody that's in IT already, help desk, sysadmin, that kind of stuff, where they're transitioning into the field of cybersecurity. Okay. And what I recommend to those people is start with your certifications. Get your certificate. You already know, there's the A plus, there's the Net plus, there's the Sec plus, and a whole slew of them. But I always tell people, okay, so you go through that A plus, Net plus, Sec plus. Okay, that's a great transition that shows you operating systems, networking, and then your basics of security. So that's a one transition portion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's call it transitional, educational, and then you've got your experience. So once you have those types of certificates, is go for internships. Talk to your people in your own company where you're working and say, look, I really want to learn cybersecurity. A lot of companies will say, oh, okay, Mr. Sysadmin, let's go ahead and put you in the cybersecurity team so you can learn a little bit, or here's some other tasks. And you start getting the experience until you get and land that first job.
Awesome. And this is another question I like to ask. Like, how important this is? And then I know we all talk. We love IT. IT is sexy. IT is beautiful. I know this is beautiful, right? But the other thing is I teach is the people aspect, people skills. How important is people skills in IT, in your opinion?
I will qualify that answer with depends on where you're working.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, People skills. We always say IT cybersecurity is people, places, and technology. Okay, people, things, and technology. Okay, so the people part is incredibly important, and it's in the name in the first place. You need to be able to communicate. Let's just say that you find something wrong in a system. You need to be able to communicate that effectively to your next line boss. Or if you are put in front of an executive or a manager or a director, you need to be able to communicate what it is in a non technical way. Okay. So the ability to communicate what's wrong is very, very important in the field. But that doesn't mean that somebody with different skills or very big skills can't be working in the, call it the back room, the data center or something like
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't have to communicate with other people. So security is very inclusive. Okay. And while it's very important that you have good writing skills and speaking skills,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a requirement for some jobs. But once you climb up and you're now a team leader of some sort, now you have to be able to communicate to your team or communicate to the executives or communicate to your managers.
Got it. This is the one question I like to ask you for cybersecurity. How important is networking? And I'm not talking about like networking for LinkedIn. I'm talking about networking itself. Like, how important do you need to have networking skills?
Again, depends on the job that you're doing. Okay. So if you're a pen tester, if you're a defender, if you are, any of the technical fields within cybersecurity, If you don't know your network, if you don't know the basics of networking, if you don't know, one of the questions I like to ask people that are interviewing
Hmm.
is this, which throws so many people. If, okay, please tell me when you hit www.google.com, tell me how you get the website to your browser.
Makes
So
sense. Hmm.
knowing the basics of, hey, from here it goes to a DNS. From DNS gives you the IP. The IP sends you to the server. The server, does the three-way handshake. Anything like that we talk about in the networking side of the house. At the very top, you need to know how something is served or how a packet goes from here to here,
Hmm.
um, how it's routed. Because when you're doing defense, you're going to be looking at, where did this come from? Is it internal? Is it external? Is it going through the network? Is it going through this firewall? Is it going through this router? Is it going through this switch? So you need to know the network and the network layer, so in order to investigate an attack that is happening. On the other side, on the penetration testing, I need to know how to use the network to exploit a specific vulnerability, or I need to know how to exploit your network, your switches, your routers, your firewalls, your load balancers, how that is going to be exploitable so that I can get into your network. And if there's a vulnerability in any of these points, I can exploit it. I can then go through the network. But if I don't know the networking, how am I going to do that?
Got it. That makes sense. This is another question I like to ask. How important is programming? Like I'm talking about like PowerShell, Python, all those good things. Like how important is just automation in cybersecurity?
So that's another interesting question, because it is not required to know how to program, but it helps you a lot. It helps you, like you said, automation. If I'm trying to do something on the defensive side, most of the tools have APIs that you can go ahead and write against, or a PowerShell script to go ahead and do your reporting. Or, if you want to search something in a database like Splunk, or not database, a log manager,
Hmm.
um, in Splunk, or Elk, or anything like that, you want to be able to have some skills to program an API or a call, or PowerShell script or Power BI or anything like that to pull the information and evaluate. On the other side, when you're attacking, you want to be able to write your own scripts. You want to be able, in that side, you really need a little more of, programming skills, so you can write scripts, so you can, automate tasks. A lot of times when you're doing a penetration testing, you got to go, what we say, low and slow.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
because
yeah.
you don't want to be detected. So you want to write a script that says, shoot this out, wait about 2 hours, shoot another one, waited 2 hours. So you need the ability to code. And even an old guy like me in 32 years, I've got 15 Udemy courses over here about Java,
Nice.
JavaScript,
Hmm.
Python, and I'm trying to keep myself, you know, up to date with at least that information. Right now my side project is, Node. I'm doing a lot of Node stuff because I like it. But I've been able to use the ability to code or do pseudocode so that I can go, okay, from here to here to here to here. So it's a logical stuff. So again, it's not required for some jobs, but it is essential in some positions.
What about when it comes to cloud? What's your opinion? AWS or Azure or both?
Oh,
Or it
you
depends
forgot
where you
you
live. What's
forgot
your
Google Cloud.
Oh,
Come
Google
on, if you're
Cloud.
going
You
to
know, I'm
be
gonna talk about that.
inclusive,
What are your thoughts on that for security?
each one has its own pluses and minuses. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't see a difference between GCP, AWS, or Azure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's pretty much a decision of the company. Okay. Whatever company is working, each one has now the appropriate security that you need to do the things. All of the clouds can be secured to HIPAA standards, to NIST standards, or any other standards out there.
Mm-hmm.
The cloud infrastructure is pretty secure. What happens is you are granted access to create your own environment, and what a lot of companies fail to do is secure their own environment. So
Mm-hmm.
the cloud is secure, but this bucket that you've been giving, your account, um, if you don't secure it effectively, people can get into your environment. I'll give you a perfect example. About, well, it's still happening, but about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, everybody was getting breached because they never secured their S3 buckets in Amazon. That wasn't the cloud's fault. That was the company and the engineers and the sysadmins that were setting this up that said, I've got an S3 bucket. I'm going to ignore it because I think it's secure in the cloud. And they didn't apply the securities. It's the same thing as if you build a server in your data center, in your office, and you fail to secure it, it's on you. It's not on the building.
Mm-hmm.
So the cloud is just somebody else's servers.
And I saw that the news with Facebook going down, and you know, that's another conversation for another
That's
day.
another conversation.
Yeah.
They didn't do their CI/CD very well.
Mm-hmm. And because this is another question I love asking. Like, what are your thoughts on LinkedIn? Like, I guess I feel like LinkedIn. Everyone uses LinkedIn, but no one uses it properly. Like, people don't know how to use LinkedIn properly as far as connecting with people and connecting with job recruiters. What's your advice for someone brand new that is working on LinkedIn or creating a LinkedIn profile? If you don't mind me asking you.
Oh, no problem. Um, okay, so LinkedIn, what the purpose of LinkedIn originally was the professional social media platform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was meant to be a place for companies and people to put their professional portfolio out there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so think about it as that. The best thing that I can tell any of your viewers is, if create your LinkedIn profile, always
Mm-hmm.
create it. Make sure that it is professional, that you're not using it like another Twitter or like another social media out there, whatever. The
Mm-hmm.
worst thing you can do is on your posts, on your replies, that it's not professional. Think of LinkedIn as being in the office. Okay. Put your stuff in there. Keep your profile up to date, because now in a lot of companies, when you apply for a job, they actually ask you for your LinkedIn profile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So make sure that it's kept to date, it's professional, that you have a good professional picture on there, and that you have all your education in there. And remember, one of the things that I tell everybody, just because it's a class that Kev did on networking, or if it's a Udemy course, or if it's a Coursera course, put it in there. There are managers now that are looking at that and saying, I care more about what the person is studying and keeping up with their skills than what they've done in the past. Tell them, one of the questions that I ask people is, how do you keep your skills up to date? Because as you know, the computer that you have back there, in about a year and a half, it's going to be obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yep.
technology that we're using right now in 2 years is going to be obsolete. Dude, I started in mainframes that I've seen in museums. The Vax VMX, when I had to change the reel to reels that were this big, those are all in museums. So if I didn't imagine if I didn't keep up with one says on the chat the AS400s. Oh yeah, that was about 10 years into my career. Um, so having this information in being able to keep your skills up and putting them on LinkedIn to say, look, if you guys look at my LinkedIn, you see I put like my Udemy stuff, and I just finished a course on Node or uh, you know advanced JavaScript. But doing all this stuff, keep it updated.
Mhm.
So use LinkedIn as your professional portfolio, because recruiters, executives, or any other network that you have there is going to look at that and say, that's the person that I want to hire. That's the person I want.
And actually, I not to change the topic a little bit, but I actually spoke about this last night on my Discord. So if you guys don't know, I have a Discord, but I spoke about this. Like, this is how people get jobs in IT using LinkedIn, and it doesn't matter if you have a premium account or not. I have people that I work with, right, and they would just email the hiring manager directly and send them the resume and get past the ATS system, and then just get
Correct.
a job that way. You could do that.
And you and I had this discussion. The
Yes.
the issue that we're having right now is we have a lot of gatekeepers,
Hmm.
not just people, but technology that's a gatekeep.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, I'll give you a perfect example. We have 950 openings in the division that I work in for security personnel. And we can't get people because, one, job descriptions are horrible. Okay. And then the ATS systems, the HR systems will take that job description that is already horrible and say, and an if then model, say, degree, bachelor's, years of experience, 15, this requirement. If you don't have all those, it kicks you out.
Yep.
But what if you have 90% of all the requirements or 85% of the requirements, and you are perfect for that job? That ATS system, that HR system is going to kick you out. But if the manager looks at the resume, says, this guy is about 95% what I need, this 5% I can either train or ignore.
No, I.
So
Hmm.
use your network, contact us hiring managers. That's part of what LinkedIn is for.
I totally agree with you. That's why I tell people just connect directly with people that are hiring managers, job recruiters. Just send them the. Don't be afraid to send them your resume because they might be hiring for a position that you're looking for. And this ATS system is extremely annoying, especially when you're applying for entry level jobs. Like
Yes.
talking about Helpdesk, right? And because that's what I train, right? So this is like, oh, entry level must have 3 years of job experience, 4 years of job experience. And it says entry level on it.
And my biggest thing with those recruiters that do that, all right, is when they say, I want 5 years experience in a tool that's been in existence for 1 year. Okay.
That's another one.
Or they say, oh, I want 10 years experience. And I've been in interviews where I've looked at the hiring manager and said, you want 10 years experience on this tool? Do you understand that the company has been in existence for 5? How the heck am I going to get 5 years, 10 years experience in a tool that's been in existence for 5? That's happened to me about 10 times in my career.
It's happened. It's happened to me too, man. It's happened. I totally agree with you. It's happened to me too. And going back into asking you questions, what is what? I was gonna ask you how, like, for you, just because I know you have hired people before. So how important is it for you to hire someone with that has the passion to learn and willingness to learn versus someone that doesn't have technology skills or just has a little bit? Like, would you hire someone that has more personality skills and has like that good personality, that they're approachable, they're easy to learn, or do you want someone that's more technical, or do you split it in the middle? How do you look at that?
I'm gonna tell you, it depends. Okay, so let me
Mm-hmm.
go depends. If I'm hiring a entry level through 3 years, let's just go 1 to 3 years, okay,
Mm-hmm.
which is your audience. If it's a senior person, no, we really need those skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's an entry person, if it's somebody starting their career, I particularly will hire the one that shows me the passion, the one that shows me that they want to learn, the one that shows me that they really, really want to research. So, for instance, if you're in an interview and somebody asks you a question that doesn't know, something and turns around and says to me, I will Google that, he's hired or she's hired.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want somebody with the passion and the ability to learn and research. If you give me that, you teach help desk people.
Mm-hmm.
You know that if you don't know something, what's the first thing you do?
Just go to Google. Yeah.
Hmm. You go to Google, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why is that hard to say in an interview? Tell the
Mm-hmm.
manager, hey, if I don't know that, I'm going to go do some research. I'm going to get back to that user. Okay. Say it. It's not bad. As a matter of fact, it's a great skill. So passion, passion, passion rules out somebody that comes and says, I know all the answers. Because that's a person I'm going to be like, yeah, you're not good for help desk or you're not good for SOC.
Uh-huh.
Okay. If you know it all, look, I've been in the industry for 32 years. I always say to everybody, I only know that I know nothing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't come to you because you're the expert that is seeing this every day, I'm going to go, Kev, what the hell's going on here? Right. And you can teach me.
Mm-hmm.
You can teach me everything. I probably have forgotten, you know, probably 90% of the stuff that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't know it all. There's so many systems, there's so many things. As a CISO, I have my managers and I've got my engineers and I've got my teams. I need them to tell me, why is this bad? What can we do? What? So the passion for learning and the people is to me the most important part.
That's I agree with you. That's how I do things. I have an internship I run. I want someone that's willing to learn, and I want someone that I'm talking about help desk. We're not talking about cybersecurity now. So this is help desk. So for help desk, right? This is a hiring manager, right? It's a hiring manager, right? You're representing the company. So if you have a toxic employee, you don't want to hire that person. That's
Correct.
just like very, very important. Like you represent like and you, Eric, you know this. The first line of defense is help desk, right? So if
First
you
line of
have
the
someone they have a technical issue, right? You want to have someone that's willing to take the call and be nice to the client. You don't want someone that's going to be an a-hole to the client. We don't do that,
correct.
right? So that's why I emphasize having customer service when you're working help desk or IT support. That's like one thing that I feel like you
Number
need
one
to
skill.
learn. Number one skill is having those people skills and just talking to people because I've been in scenarios like that, because we spoke before, right, about hedge funds, right?
Yeah.
I've been in a scenario where when I first started IT, I learned the hard way, right? And then now I have some experience now. So now I know that I have to talk to a person that works in the hedge fund in a non-technical way, right? Because if you tell them in a technical way, they're like, what the hell are you talking about? I just want to know if it works or it doesn't work. That's all I care about. I don't care about what you did. I just want to know if it works. And like, yeah, so it works. So then I tell people, you have a slice of that humble pie, you
Oh, you
humble
do.
yourself
Oh, you do.
and you
And
try
that doesn't
to.
stop. That doesn't
Mhm.
stop all the way up.
Yeah.
Okay. I have been in meetings with C-level executives and something has happened in security or something has happened in IT and some business person is, you know, yelling, the operations officer is yelling, and you have to take the humble pie and you say, yes, sir, we're going to fix that. Okay, great. You know, let's move forward.
Yeah, it's very, very important. And what is your, because you did, now I'm gonna ask you a question because you mentioned it. What is your process or thought process on how to get started? Because in SOC analyst roles, because that's like entry level for security, so kind of entry level, not really, but what's your thought process on that?
Okay, so while it is an entry level position, and you've got SOC analysts at level one, which are the ones that see the things happening in there and report, um, having your Sec Plus, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
having that base of security, having your networking piece in place, coming in and the ability to learn, okay, and the ability to research is the most important part because there's hundreds of thousands of different alerts on a sim or a SOC tools that are out there. You can't learn all those. So when you get an alert, privilege escalation or something like that, you turn around and you go, what the heck is privilege escalation? Or you've got, you know, a crafted packet from, coming from an adversary country and it's hitting the firewall. Okay, let's research this. What is a crafted package? So the ability to learn and research at a level one SOC analyst is very important. And you have to show that hiring manager that you have the ability to research. The worst thing is a SOC analyst that just like a help desk guy that goes, okay, okay, approve, disapprove, that kind of. They need to be, hey, what's going on here? I mean, you are the first line of defense for a company in the security world. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you're monitoring the outside, you're monitoring the inside. If something happens in that network, if a vulnerability or penetration or an attempt or an inside threat, you're the first one that's going to see it. You're going to be the one that gets the bells, and you are the first policeman, ambulance, fire that's going to respond to that. And when you get that, you need to be able to know what to act, how to act, use your run books, use your SOPs, and get to the people that can do something.
That makes sense. I was gonna ask you, what was the other thing I was gonna ask you another question. Um, what is I guess what tools, what resources do you recommend to get started in cybersecurity? Just like what free resources do you recommend, like just for someone that's brand new getting into
There
security?
are hundreds of free resource out there to get started. But the problem is that they're so all over the place that it's hard to find. So, number one resource, YouTube. Number one research, YouTube. Where you're streaming to YouTube, Twitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. There are groups that are in security, learning security, videos, research that. Um, we have a group of friends that are um, content creators on the cybersecurity world. You've
Mm-hmm.
got Cyber Warrior Studios. You've got Sex Studio.
Mm-hmm.
You've got DJX Alpha. You've got Cover Six Solutions. You've got a bunch of other channels. You got Hack Five. All of these content developers, we all talk. We're all in a Discord together, and we're putting out this content on a weekly basis. Go ahead and look at those. Okay, find my channel, EricBelardoCyber. Go ahead and subscribe to those channels because we're giving you guys the keys to the kingdom. Most of these content creators have been on in the industry for 10, 20, 30 years. Look at those. Um, Google, how do I get? What about these positions? I actually have a channel, a live on my channel where I talk about all the different places and all the different ways that you can get into security and all the resources. So go look at those. There are people, reach out to people like myself and some of the people that I just mentioned. They are able to mentor you and get you the information to get into internships. Talk to Kev. You know, he will direct you to these resources as well. So the people that say to you, I don't know how to start, or I don't know where, I haven't found any information, go back to the Google it.
Now that you actually mentioned your channel, can you tell me more about your YouTube channel?
Certainly. Okay. So, my channel is Eric Belardo, like you see here, EricBelardoCyber. So please, if you're out there, go subscribe. Um, so what we do is we hold 2 live shows a week. On Wednesday nights, we have Raíces Live, which we'll talk a little bit more in a few seconds. And we have
Hmm.
New Battlefields. And New Battlefields and Raíces Cyber is a channel for talking to executives, talking to people that are in the industry, teaching about diversity, teaching about being in cyber. We talk about the different avenues in cyber. We bring in people so they can talk about their experiences. So we're a learning channel about security. It's secure. It's cybersecurity 24/7. So go check it out. It's a good channel. We do a lot of good talks. The last show we had was with the CISO of
HBO.
HBO
I
Max.
saw that. I was like, oh
Okay.
damn, this is awesome. And
And the one before was the CTO of Scythe.io, which is a penetration testing company. The one before that was with Marcus Carey, who is a legend in our environment. Marcus wrote, or is the main author behind the Tribe of Hackers series.
Mhm.
Before that, we had our team from Raíces Cyber Org, and then we've had people like IBM's Melissa Sassy, Dr. Melissa Sassy. We had an information misinformation show with Isabella Garcia from Chris Krebs' organization. So go ahead and look at that because it's a very interesting channel.
What is what is Raices?
All right. Well, Raíces Cyber, as you guys can see here, right here, is our new association organization that we've created the last 3 months now. It is the Hispanic Association in Cybersecurity. So what we tried to do with Raíces is create an inclusive association, a membership association for Hispanics, Latinos, Latinas, Latinx, and all our allies, where we can bring together the community in networking activities, bringing people together, giving people resources for those people that are entering the field, having entry level mentorship, putting you together with some people, being able to do resume reviews, things of that nature, having an educational component, which we're working with Kev and others to build an educational component from middle school, high school, college, and professional development. So this is going to be built here soon. So we are opening chapters. If you go to the About Us and meet the team, we are opening chapters in different locations in the world. If you go scroll down a little bit more there, a little more. Okay, there we go. So we have currently we are starting chapters in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Texas, Chicago, Northern New Jersey, Washington D.C., South Florida, Rhode Island, New York City. Look at that handsome devil. Okay, but we are extending our reach to Uruguay, Poland, Mexico, and I think we've got somebody around here that's going to do Central New Jersey, but
Mhm.
I'm trying to twist his arm there. He's on your chat there. to do a Central New Jersey chapter. So that's going to be a lot of fun here. So we're expanding our reach. Our organization is all inclusive. We're going to be doing a mini con here in the wintertime, and we're going to be doing a full conference. Hopefully, all this COVID stuff goes away
Hmm.
next summer in Philadelphia. So stay tuned. That's going to be a big one with a lot. Basically, we're trying to do call it the DEF CON of Hispanics. So
And I'm super happy to have you here because people think it's just Hispanic culture. No, it's everyone. So we're actually involving every single nationality to get together to help each other in the IT community. So
that's correct.
that's the reason why Eric, I reached out to you because we reached out on YouTube, right? I just like ping you randomly, and then we just started talking, and then I'm like, I like what he's doing, so I'm gonna bring him to my channel and actually talk about what he's doing and how he's helping people. And I appreciate that, Eric. I appreciate what you're doing for the community. You're actually making a difference. I want to have people that make a difference in the IT community versus someone that is doing a TikTok video. I don't do that. Don't do that. You know. So
And
that's the
of
thing.
course, don't forget to have everybody follow us on Twitter. We Raíces.Cyber.org on Twitter. Go ahead and follow us there. And we're doing something that I'm going to tell you that's going to hit your heart. Is 3 emails came in yesterday asking for mentorship opportunities
Nice.
because they were entry level.
Start
They've
sharing for
done their certification. They didn't know where to go then. So we're gonna have some mentorship opportunities that are gonna start here very soon. And we just starting a program for college students that are still going through college, where we're gonna give them these mentorship opportunities. So when they come out of college, they're ready to enter the field.
That is awesome, Eric, man. I like I said, like I wanted to get you on my YouTube channel because I appreciate what you're doing. That's like you're giving a lot of free resources, and all that costs money. It's just like to help people, man. I appreciate that. That's like I don't I like promoting people that like to help other people, and that takes a spot in my heart. Like it feels good like when you help people. So
And that's what we're trying to do. So we're trying to be able to give a lot of these resources. We're going to be doing a lot of classes, a lot of videos and stuff like that that we're going to be doing for our members in there. We just announced, or we're going to announce this week that um, that we are going to do the student education is going to be free to the students.
hmm
So that's
nice.
going to be a very nice things to do. So thank you very much. And thank you very much for people who are subscribing to my channel right now from yours.
Yeah,
So forgot to turn that off.
it's
But
okay.
I really, 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 if anybody can help with the donations, if you go to the website, raicescyber.org, we have a donate button on the top. Any amount would be great. So thank you very much for your support. And Kev, thank you very much for bringing us in the channel here. What you do for the help desk community, for the people coming into IT is amazing. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Eric, for being helping the Latino community, the poor areas, the rural areas, the minorities. Let's talk about this. This is another conversation for another day.
Oh
But
yeah.
the minorities area, the Hispanic, the African American community, just the poor rural areas. Like I appreciate what you're doing because that is something that is not talked about IT. And the other thing is there are not a lot of Hispanics and African Americans doing YouTube channels and in IT. That's another thing that bothers me. I wish there was like
Yeah.
more of that.
Well,
So
the numbers right now.
yeah.
Came out from the Aspen Digital Group just about 3-4 weeks ago that there's only 4%. Four. This is my big number. 4% of Hispanic representation in cybersecurity. 4%. 9% Black, 4% Hispanic, and 1% Native American.
Wow.
So we really have to do something about this. We really have to grow that representation, because the diversity of thought is very important in IT and cybersecurity. It's all about, it's not about diversity. It's not about having a red, a white, a blue, a green person in a team. It's about the diversity of the thoughts. And that's what's important. We need to change the conversation from we need a this person, this person, this person, this person type, and bring it to the diversity of thought. So
That's very, yeah. That's the other thing is the and Eric, and you never heard, we spoke about this on your personal Discord. My end goal is to unite all the IT communities together, but I can't do this alone. I need people to help me.
we need
So
alliances,
we need
alliances across
alliances
the board.
across the board, yeah, around the world. So that's something that I'm trying to get together. Obviously it's gonna take time. It takes time. You gotta have patience with everything, but that's the other thing. Like I want to change the world in a positive way. Like leave my mark in IT. That's basically what I want to do. That I aspire to be better every single day. It's just how
That's
I
right.
am. So before we before we wrap it up and everything, I actually um, Cyber Supply Drop. They actually hooked me up.
Where
So
is Josh around
I
there?
don't know if Josh is around, but Josh, I don't know if Josh is around, but he hooked me up today. So I actually have a course for Amazon for free, and everything on Amazon AWS course, a full course, like a bunch of courses for free.
Uh-huh.
It's like a $400 course. I think more than that actually. It's absolutely free. And if you guys don't know, I actually I have an alliance with Eric, and I have an alliance with Cyber Supply Drop, and I have an alliance with other YouTube channels. They hooked me. Cyber Supply Drop hooked me up, or Josh hooked me up with a free giveaway. So I'm gonna let Eric say. Sorry, what should people type in chat? The first person to type in chat for the giveaway. What should it be? What do you think? So the first person to type in chat this word gets the Amazon training, the AWS
What
training.
was the branch of the what was the branch of service that Eric was in?
Let's see. It's a good question. See if anyone answers the weird chat. Someone said Army.
Okay, here you go, Kev.
Army. Ah, okay.
So I think, who was the first one there?
G
GB Legend.
BRO Legend.
All
So
right.
GBRO Legend.
Nah, I was a Navy. Come on. Air Force, that's Chair Force. No, I was a ground pounder.
Yeah. So GBRO Legend. You could contact me. You could message me. Give you my email address. Everyone has my email address anyway, but you can message me, and I'll give you that prize, um, just for answering the question. Someone said Navy,
Yeah.
Air Force.
No.
So,
Chair Force.
oh, what?
We call it the Chair
Air
Force.
Force.
Yeah.
Oh my
No,
God! All right, so and
but we bust on each other, Marine Corps, Air Force, Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Space Force. We bust on each other all the time. But hurt one, you're going to get all of us together.
mhm.
So,
I was gonna ask you. What actually, let's see if anyone has any questions before. I think I said someone had a question. So let me go back up. Let me.
and Juan, I know that you're watching,
Yeah,
and
one is
you're an
here.
Air Force guy. So, we'll talk about that later.
See if anyone have any questions before we wrap it up. Me, I don't like to have this. I don't like to keep you sitting down for 3 hours. We don't do that here. It'd be painful. So, Anyone have any questions for Eric? Or actually, that's a good question. What are your thoughts on WGU?
I'm going to say something kind of controversial. Okay.
Uh-oh. Here we
So
go.
most universities, it doesn't matter if it's MIT all the way down to, you know, any of the schools that are out there, they get all the online and traditional bachelor's degrees there.
Mm-hmm.
They really give you a foundation and they get you that paper that you can get through that ATS system. Okay. Um, I always recommend to everybody that is going through a cybersecurity program that you support that with internships, actually do projects, get your GitHub out there, get your LinkedIn, get your internships. That is what's going to be valuable. The document, the bachelor's degree is going to be what's going to allow you in, kind of the entry into some companies.
Mm-hmm.
But most companies now, because by the end of 2021, the US will be at a deficit of 500,000 cybersecurity professionals. So, because of that, we are doing this thing where we're saying it's either 4 years or 5 years experience, or a master's degree is 8 years experience, or a doctorate is 15 years experience. So take your certificate, take your bachelor's, do that. Most universities are getting great processes and great programs, but supplant that with certificates, Udemy courses, internships, get some experience. And that's going to make you a stronger cybersecurity professional.
Awesome. So no one has any questions. They're just having their own little conversation in there in chat,
Yeah, no,
talking about some other stuff.
yeah, you guys talk amongst yourself. Okay, I'm here. Come on, guys.
So I'm gonna let Eric wrap it up with final closing statements. So, oh hey, someone said, hey, wait, I got a question. Let's give it a second. Let's give it a second. It's for Eric. Oh, okay. Has a question
Okay,
for you.
go for it. Bring it on, Venzi.
Oh, you see him in chat. All right, good. What's your question, Eric? And what's your question for Eric? Well, Eric, I appreciate you coming here and talking today too, man. I know you're busy. I know you're a busy guy too.
Well, I'm trying. Okay.
Very busy.
Would TS clearances help in any way when trying to get into the big leagues? Yes. Okay, so here's the deal with the clearances. Sometimes a clearance will trump experience because they're so hard to get. Having a clearance is hard to get. If you got a TS that's coming from military or something like that, it is definitely a major leg up in, call it, the government cybersecurity world. Okay. If you are going to be, transitioning from the Air Force or from any other branch of service and you have your clearance, hold on to that. If you want to go into cybersecurity, hold on to that. You will get a lot of job opportunities in the government area. So it's very, very important to keep those. For the call it the commercial world, the clearances, don't mean too much. At that point in time, it's experience. Okay.
Got it.
I hope that helped you.
Got it. See if anyone has any questions. Oh, what is Marina's web?
Mariana's Web.
Mariana's web.
I think I'm going to have to Google that. somebody? All right.
Will
Okay, there's
someone get
Steven.
hired for cybersecurity without deep understanding of networking? I think we talked about this already. So.
Depends on the field. Depends on the field. If you are doing governance, risk, and compliance, or if you're doing security awareness training, or you're doing any kind of the training pieces, then yes, you can get hired without deep understanding of network. On the other fields, as a junior, you have to have a working, and I'm going to highlight this word right here, deep. Okay, you have to have a working knowledge of security, of networking. Um, you will get hired without that knowledge of networking. But deep, that's something you will get later on.
Someone else had a question like, "What projects are good for cybersecurity?" It's a good question.
Tons of them. Tons of them. The thing that I tell everybody is this: you have a laboratory right here in your house. Figure out how to create your own firewall. Figure out how to set up a security operations center for your house. You've got devices, you've got your phone, you've got your computer, you've got your IoT devices, you've got your significant other's computer and kids computer and other devices. In a normal house, you have your tablet, your phone, you have 10 plus devices. So figure out how to create your own security operations center. Use products that are free. There's a lot of open source projects out there for security. You've got Wazoo, you've got Elk, you've got pfSense, you've got Security Onion. All of these are free projects that you can download, configure, and it's going to help you with both your networking, your security knowledge, and your own personal security.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I was just asking a question about that. If you can
Well,
afford, create your lab.
Juan is saying if you can afford to create your own lab, but
Yeah.
everything I just said can be done with an old laptop. Okay, so you have an old laptop. Some of the projects can be done with Raspberry Pis. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
get yourself a Raspberry Pi 4, and go into GitHub and type in Raspberry Pi security. You'll have hundreds of projects to do.
Yep. Totally agree with you. Let's see if anyone else had any more questions.
All right.
So what's your plan for today, Eric?
Two things: cutting the grass and working on races. I still have to be a dad, you know?
Yeah. You're not a robot. You're human. So
Aaron says beer. Okay,
beer.
I'm a cider kind of guy.
You're a cider kind of guy. Oh, okay. I'm a beer guy. I always drink beer. So, um, all right. So I'll wrap it up. I'm gonna let Eric take the floor. Eric, do you have any final words you want to say?
Sure. So, thank you. First of all, thank you very much for having me here. Please, everybody, there's a couple things that I will ask you is number one, go to my YouTube channel, EricBelardoCyber. Please follow us there. And then with Raices Cyber, please go to our website, raicescyber.org. Go ahead while you're there, check out the store, check out the donations, and go and follow us on Twitter. What we're trying to do is bring together and bring more people from the Hispanic, Latino, Latina, Latinx, and all of our allies into the field of cybersecurity. So we're trying to do this. We need your help. YouTube, please, Twitter, the store, our donations, and follow this channel for Kev and follow our channel. I think you guys are wonderful. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for supporting Kev and supporting us at Raices. If I can do anything for you guys, always reach out to me in those channels, and let's go Raices.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So if you guys have any questions or anything, it's people start asking questions over here. What's going on? Surprisingly, uh, 3 months in IT, just CCNA knowledge from Costa Rica. Currently working as a technical support agent for Slice and Cisco. Do you recommend specialized?
So Mauricio, yes. I mean, what is the specialization that you want? Or do you want to continue in networking and become a senior network administrator? If you want security, then what part of security lights your fire? You know, do you want to be a security operations analyst? Do you want to be a penetration tester? Do you want to work in governance system compliance? Look at that and start learning about each one, and then go ahead and specialize in each one.
Awesome. I'm gonna let you guys go, and I know Eric wants to move around and get up like me. I don't like sitting down so much. So one fun fact about me, guys, if you guys don't know, I do 20,000 steps every day in walking. I'm addicted to walking. Look at Eric's reaction.
I got 2,300 for today.
Yeah, I do 20,000 steps every day. I have my Discord. I have a gym chat on channel, and we talk about exercise and working out. Because one thing about me is it's all IT, but also it's all about your health too, right? You gotta be healthy. You gotta have a healthy life in
That
IT
is
too.
balance.
It's a balance, it's a balance in everything. So I talk about that. So I me and Eric are gonna continue talking, but I'll let you guys go. Benny, you have a question? Sorry, Benny. Benny has a question. I was gonna let you guys go, but Benny has a question. Just wait for Benny. And I'm gonna take advantage of this because I have Eric here. Kind of. Maybe later on tonight we'll have a beer together. Who knows? Me and Eric will probably have a beer today. Right now I'm having coffee, but who knows? Maybe later tonight. So.
Look, Vency, subscribe to the channel.
So, awesome.
Okay, go take a picture right now.
How do you balance work life with family? That's a good question. It's a very
my
good
friend.
question.
So I've got EricBelardoCyber that I'm doing. I've got my day job as a CISO. I've got all the different things that I do. So you've got to set some boundaries. You got to set yourself some boundaries between doing the work, having your family. Make sure you leave space for taking care of yourself. So the most important thing you can do is schedule yourself. Keep a good schedule. Do that and force yourself to stop. That's the part that you need to know. After 30 years, and even me being sick and falling sick because I was doing too much of one thing, I was, working. I had one job that I was working from 7 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. And I burnt out completely. There was another job that I was traveling every week from Sunday to Friday, and I burnt out on that. So I learned to kind of, at a certain point in time, stop the day job, start the night job, raíces, and then stop that and go and eat and go walk or go do something. So you have to force yourself to create good habits. A book that turned it around for me, I'm going to give you a couple books: Atomic Habits, High Performance Habits, and The Power of Habit. Read those books, they're going to help you create good, healthy habits in the field.
And one important thing, like I teach, is don't take your work home with you. That's one important thing that I teach. Do not do that, because then you got to set a boundary with your employees and your job too. Don't bring your work with you.
And it's kind of hard with this work from home now, because we're
It's very, very, very important with that, because what happens is when you do that, then you basically, you're stressed out the entire time. We try to avoid that. And burnout is a real thing in IT. You get a lot of that in IT. So it's very, very important that you balance yourself.
So Mauricio, Mauricio, if you go to the website, There are a couple forms in there. There's the email, and it's in the bottom. You can reach me there. You can request to be a volunteer as well on the site. And you can contact me on Twitter at Cyber. Go to the site there and you can go ahead and contact me. Twitter, email, volunteer. It's all there.
Awesome. I just send them the link to your website.
Oh,
The
wonderful.
website we're working on. So, all right. So I'm gonna let you guys go. If you guys have any more questions, you could always email him. I just send the page in there and everything. We are working together. Me and Eric are working together, and I'm working with other YouTube channels. By the way, it's not just him. It's a bunch of other. I have to get the other person from YouTube to talk here as well.
Okay,
A few
so
other
yeah, I'm
people.
going to give you a list of all the YouTubers there that are working together with
Awesome.
us.
I need to get Alpha too. I like Alpha. I need to get him here
Awesome.
too. I need to get him here. So
And InfoSec Unplugged is coming
infosec.
back, and I'm going to be on his channel I think it's December 9th.
Awesome.
So,
So with that being said, I hope you guys have a good day. I hope you guys have a good Saturday, a good weekend. Eric, you want to say anything?
have a great weekend, everybody. Till next time, go ahead and go to Rise of Cyber, go to Twitter, or go to YouTube. Go ahead. Let's do it.
Let's do it up. Let's change the IT world.
That's right. Change the
All right.
world.
Take care, guys. Peace.